Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a week in my life on a residential placement. In today's vlog I'll be showing you around the hospital accommodation and the medical education centre in the hospital, and of course showing you everything I get up to while I'm studying medicine away from Nottingham. Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm on a residential placement, so I've been placed at Lincoln Hospital for 4 weeks, and while I'm here I'm doing ENT, dermatology and ophthalmology. I'm on a number of residential placements throughout the year, so I thought that I would take you along and show you what a week looks like when I'm on a residential placement. So obviously normally I'd be living in Nottingham where my medical school is based, but Nottingham Medical School sends students out to the district hospitals, so they're hospitals that are a bit smaller, they're not as big as the one sort of in Nottingham. But you kind of get a really good experience while you're here, and as we go through the week I will mention the things that are really good about being at a district hospital on a residential, and I'll also mention the things that aren't so good. So we stay in the hospital accommodation on the hospital site, and I'll be showing you around my room later because for this placement it is a good one. So I'm just going to head down to where the clinics are for ENT for 9 o'clock, and I know there's a couple going on, so I'll see if I can join one of them. I find that on Monday morning I prefer to just go in and do something so that I just get my week started in like quite a productive way. So once I was changed into my scrubs, I went to the outpatients department, which is where the clinics are, and this morning's clinic was a head and neck clinic, so I saw lots of thyroid lumps, patients who had difficulty swallowing or a change in their voice, lots of follow-up cancer appointments as well, and lots of examinations of the nose and the throat, especially with nase endoscopy, which is where you pass a tube down the back of the nose into the throat. There's often a lot of downtime during clinics where the consultant is just like writing up notes and things, so I always go on the QuesMed app and I just select some topics to answer some exam questions on, just to do a bit of extra revision. After the clinic I went back to the accommodation, and that building you can see is the accommodation, and it's literally so close to the hospital, it's amazing. So then I just made a coffee and had my lunch. So then I got started on some work, and I just do some short bursts of work using the Forest app. So here I'm just showing you all of my trees, and then yeah, I just set my timer for 30 minutes and do a short burst of really focused work. So I thought I'd give you a tour of my room because I got very lucky with the room I got in this accommodation. So yeah, just hangers to hang up your coats and things, and then in this room I actually have 2 bedside tables and a double bed, which is literally amazing. I'm still using my single duvet though because that's all I brought with me. So then I've actually got 2 windows, which is really nice and makes the room feel really spacious. There's the other bedside table, and again look how much space I've got, it's so nice. This is the desk area, really nice big desk, lots of room, and then this is the bit I literally couldn't believe. I have a whole kitchen in my bedroom. This is very rare, like you wouldn't normally get this, it was just very lucky. So I've got a fridge, microwave, hob and everything, which is really nice, especially in the mornings, and it's nice to be able to fill a fridge up with my food. And then this is the bathroom, which again is really spacious. Since I have so much space, I've started doing workouts that I wouldn't normally be able to do in Nottingham, so here I'm actually doing body attack. I actually did half an hour of body attack and half an hour of body combat. Both of them are so much fun, really tiring, and definitely feel like a really good workout. And then after that I did my yoga. In case you don't know, I am doing yoga every day, hopefully for the whole year, but it's only March at the moment, but I've managed to do it every single day so far, and it's a really important part of my routine and I really enjoy it. After that I had a shower and then I made dinner. I actually did a lot of batch cooking before I came, so this is like an aubergine curry that I'd previously made and frozen because I thought I wouldn't have loads of fridge space and I'd have to share the kitchen and everything, but it turns out I have a kitchen in my room anyway. The next morning I got up and went for a run around Lincoln before breakfast, so I just wanted to show you some of the really lovely sights in Lincoln. So here's the cathedral, it literally looks so like magnificent and the castle as well you can see in the distance. So I'm now going into the hospital to go to a clinic at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be early, but I need to get out of this room because there's like drilling and hammering going on upstairs. They've just gone quiet, typical, just as I started filming, but it's driving me insane. So I'm just going to work in the kind of study area we have there for a little bit. So again, look how I can literally see the hospital from the accommodation. It's so close. So I went to the study and I was just doing some work before the clinic. It's really nice that we have this little area to study. And then I went to the clinic, and after the clinic we actually had a suturing practical, which I completely forgot we had. So these were my first attempt sutures, which weren't amazing. It kind of improved a little bit, but I'm definitely not destined to be a surgeon. And then I ended up having lunch really late. I got it from the restaurant. It was scampi and chips. It was obviously a lot more than that originally. But yeah, I didn't realise we had the practical, otherwise I would have eaten before the practical. And then I was just doing some work in the afternoon because I knew that it would still be noisy in the accommodation, so I wanted to have some nice peace and quiet. So I'm back in my room now, and I've got a decaf coffee, which I've really got into recently, and I thought I'd just take a moment to have a quick chat with you about what it's like being on a residential placement and what the pros and cons are. The first thing I want to say is that if you end up getting a residential placement, I mean, this might be quite specific to Nottingham, or it might be, you know, relevant to all medical schools. Firstly, don't panic, don't think it's the end of the world. I was literally gutted, and I think if you scroll back on Instagram you can see a post where I was like, this is going to be so difficult, and like I'm so gutted to have residentials and to be rotating the whole year. And yes, I was right in that it has been very challenging, and definitely the packing, the moving, the transferring your life between different places, and having to live with strangers, you know, not necessarily medical students, just people working in the hospital, NHS staff, living with them in flats and getting used to that, and maybe not having that comfort of living with the people that, you know, I chose to live with. It's definitely been tricky. There have definitely been times when I've been like, this is just not fair, this is so stressful, why is it me that has to do this? And some people are just, you know, in Nottingham all year when I'm in Mansfield, Lincoln and Boston. But there are so many pros to it, and it definitely makes you a more resilient and more adaptable person. It gives you a wider experience of, you know, different hospitals, different sort of populations of people, and it does give you that little adventure, you know. And I think it stops you becoming sort of quite stagnant, being in the same place all year, which isn't normally the case, but it was this year because of COVID. I think that can become very monotonous. You know, I've had the chance to really have some adventures, and that has been fun. Being able to explore different cities, Lincoln especially I've really liked. Boston as well wasn't that bad at all. Like, there was a Wetherspoons there, it was quite pretty in places, there were some quite good running routes. So I've just adapted to wherever I am, to be honest. The advantages of it are that you're so close to the hospital, you know, it's so easy to get in and out. You don't have to worry about commuting. I feel like you have this nice little bond with the people that you're with when you're here. So the other medical students, you know, you see them a lot just around. You might even be in the same flat as them. The staff, like the medical education staff, the admin team, there's like one person who overlooks like the organisation of your placement, and we see her like every day, and like we chat to her in the corridors and things. It's a lot more kind of personal, and that goes for teaching as well. It's a lot more personalised to fit in with you and what you want, because there are smaller groups of us here. We can kind of dictate a bit more what the teaching is on and where the teaching is. I find the residential hospitals are way more flexible in terms of what you actually do on your placement. So you're not just given a very rigid timetable. Often it's a lot more kind of, there are options of what you can do, and then it's down to you to kind of decide in your group who's going to do what, and that means that you can easily share out things that, you know, some people might be more interested in, or people might benefit more from. Whatever placement you get, I just feel like you can make the most of it, and you will have a good time. You will learn to see the advantages, and if you're at lots of residentials, then it is just one big adventure, and it definitely is never boring. Yeah, I think for me it's been really fun. So here I am doing my yoga again, and if anyone else is thinking of maybe trying to do a bit of yoga every day, then I would definitely recommend Yoga with Adrienne. I follow her monthly calendar, which she releases every month, and so each day she gives you one of her videos to do. And this just makes it so easy to make yoga a habit, because you've always got that direction and you know what yoga session you're doing each day. So the next morning I actually had off because there weren't really many clinics on, and we had teaching in the afternoon anyway, so I thought I would just get on with my own studying in the morning. The way I study, if you haven't watched my videos before, is entirely using Quizlet flashcards at the moment. So I've kind of made all of my flashcards for the whole year, and now I'm just going over and over and over and over them until they just stick in my head. So then I had lunch, and look how cute this little chocolate bunny is. So then we had our teaching over Teams, so we were just learning about sort of common ENT presentations, so things like tonsillitis, glandular fever, otitis media, otitis externa, and I was just making a few notes of sort of, you know, interesting facts or things that I'd not really sort of known about, and there's me just feeling my thyroid gland. So I've just come back from our face-to-face teaching that we had, and today we were actually signing off our MACs. So MACs are, I can't remember what it stands for now, mandatory core assessments, something like that. Basically they're skills that we have to demonstrate that by the end of the placement we can do at the level of sort of an F1 doctor. These could be sort of doing particular examinations or taking histories or presenting histories. It depends on kind of the speciality. So for ENT what we have to do is examination of the ear, nose and throat. So we just did them today. It's so nice because there's only 3 of us doing ENT here at the moment, so it was just 3 of us and the doctor, and we were just going through them and practicing. Sometimes, you know, MACs can be quite different depending on like how the teams or the department do it. For obs and gynae they're quite like formal. We had like proper kind of like almost OSCE stations, and we did the examinations on models, and then like for psychiatry we had to take history and present it, and like present a mental state examination, present a risk assessment, like a cognitive assessment was one of them. But yeah, I feel like MAC's always in the back of your mind as something that you have to get signed off before you can finish the placement. So I found this arboretum to run round, which is nice to have a bit of green. It's very hilly around Lincoln, that is what I've discovered. So today has turned into a bit of an admin day because after my run I just sat down and did all of those bitty things, not necessarily admin, but just those bitty things that I keep meaning to get around to do, but I just think, oh, I'll do that this evening, and then in the evening I'm always doing something else and I forget, and so I just sat down and did all these little things I wanted to do. One of them was like calling the garage for my car because my car boot basically stopped working. I had to go and get it fixed, otherwise it would drain the battery, and it was all just a bit random, but basically I had to order a new part for the boot and I'm gonna get it fitted today. I feel like you're not a real adult until something goes wrong with your car and you have to take it to the garage. Like, how mundane is that? Like, it's the most mundane thing ever, taking your car to the garage. All in all, it's a pretty chill day today. After we got our MAC signed off yesterday, the doctor kind of said to us, like, you've sort of done the placement, like we've been to a lot of clinics, to be fair. We're not allowed on the ward because of COVID. We thought the ward was meant to be opening up again for us this week, but it kind of didn't, and we get the impression the doctors don't really want us to be going onto the ward. And to be honest, it's fine. Like, you know, we're probably not getting the best experience that we could have had, but I still feel like I've seen lots of things, and it's only a 2-week placement anyway, so I wasn't expecting to sort of get a huge exposure to the speciality. So essentially we've kind of finished. There are no clinics on tomorrow, but there is one on today, 3:30 till 7. So I think me and my friend are going to go to that, and then we're going to go back to Nottingham for the weekend. So it was quite nice this week because we're going to have an extra day in Nottingham. So as always, I'm working through flashcards. That's all I have to do at the moment. Like, I've finished making all of my resources. I basically am just rotating. I just write each day which things I feel least confident on and which I feel like I need to go over the most. And this obviously changes every day, because then the next day I think, oh no, I haven't gone over gynae for ages, and then I'll do gynae, and then the next day I think, oh no, I haven't done psychiatry for ages. So I'm constantly changing the sort of topics that I'm covering. At the moment I'm doing ophthalmology. I tend to set a 20-minute timer on my Forest app, and in that time I will just do flashcards, as many as I can really in that time. I might do some past med questions or some quest med questions, and then I move on. I get very bored of doing the same topic, especially doing flashcards, because it's very intensive, and so I feel like I can't do the same topic for ages and ages. I keep meaning to change, and also because then the more I'm doing one topic, the more I have background stress about all of the others that I'm not working on. So yeah, I like to kind of keep all of them just ticking over nicely, so hopefully when it comes to like real, you know, revision time before exams, I will then just be focusing on sort of certain things that I'm not confident on, rather than trying to review everything. So this question is, what is the pathophysiology of diabetic retinopathy? So I'm just taking a while to like really think about everything I know about the pathophysiology of diabetic retinopathy before I just turn it over and give myself the answer. Okay, I think I've thought of everything that I know now, so I'm going to look at the answer. Okay, so sometimes after doing a flashcard, if it's particularly sort of, not necessarily complex, but if it's quite a sort of meaty one, like there's quite a lot of information, I will, after reading it, just recite to myself again what I've sort of just learned from the flashcard, because that avoids me just reading it and thinking, oh yeah, I know all that now, I'm moving on. I want to really check that I do understand it. I think I will probably be revisiting this again, like I'll be going through my flashcards one more time at least for ophthalmology, so it's not the end of the world if I can't remember everything, but just knowing those key details. So I'm just going to sort of recite it to myself now. Yeah, so I just kind of want to demonstrate there how long I'm spending on each flashcard, so it's not a case of me just going really quickly through them. I do kind of try to spend a good amount of time really sort of, you know, learning the information. So for lunch I had these noodles, which we were actually given for free at the hospital restaurant, which was really nice. And then I went into the clinic. So the head and neck clinic ended up lasting till about 6, and after that I thought I'd give you a bit of a tour of the Undergraduate Medical Education Centre, or UMEC. So here it is when you come in, and this is just an area for the medical students. So here we have the lockers where we can put our stuff while we're sort of in clinics for the day. We have a kitchen where we can actually make free tea and coffee. Here's the study which I showed you earlier, and then there's another corridor where there's like rooms where we can have teaching and things, and this mannequin always makes me jump when I come out of the toilets. And here is the common room where we can just sit and relax and have lunch. And anyway, then I came back to have dinner before heading back to Nottingham. So it's lovely to be back in Nottingham in my own bed, and we just watched Batman really randomly. It was really good. I've not actually seen the Batman films before, so that was fun. And now I'm just gonna go to sleep, and I'm really excited to have a long lie-in tomorrow, because even though I haven't necessarily been in every morning this week, I've been getting up early anyway just to sort of, you know, get my day started and be productive. So I think I'm gonna let myself just sleep in tomorrow. Also won't have building works going on above me, so that would be nice. I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's now Friday and it's lovely to be back in Nottingham. I've just run to Tesco's and I've got myself these pastries because I just didn't have any food, I didn't have any milk or anything, or like fruit for my porridge, so I didn't really want to have just plain porridge. And I also got myself one of these latte things, so I've kind of treated myself this morning. I woke up so late as well, it's literally like 9:30 now, so it feels really late, but I think I just needed the rest and the sleep. So I spent almost all of my Friday just working and reviewing flashcards, and this might seem like a really tedious way to spend a day, but I just wanted to make it clear that, to be honest, I really do enjoy studying and I really enjoy learning medicine. So for me, it's actually not like a terrible day, it's actually quite a fun day. And then I know that for the weekend, if I don't get lots of work done, then it's fine, because I had a big sort of session on Friday where I got loads done. The thing I miss now that I'm using flashcards is being able to learn visually with like really pretty notes with colours and tables and boxes and things. So sometimes I will actually make some very brief paper notes if I feel like a topic isn't sticking in my head. So I was just writing down and sort of drawing out the different types of melanomas just so that I have something that I can visualise to help me remember them, because I think I reviewed this for the second time and I still didn't remember it all. I wanted to show you this table I made. So this is the way I keep track of how many times I've reviewed my sets of flashcards. So I've listed all of the different specialities, which each are a different set of flashcards, and then I basically put which round I'm on, so whether I'm doing the flashcards for the very first time or it's my second time through or third time, and then I put each time how difficult I found it and how ready for the exam I feel, and I also put whether I've completed the pass med questions on this topic and the ques med questions. This helps me to keep track of my progress, and also when it gets nearer to exams I will then be able to see exactly which topics I'm least confident on. Hi everyone, so after doing loads of work yesterday in the evening, we just had drinks as a house, played some drinking games, stuff like that. It was really fun. I ended up staying up quite late for me anyway, so then I got up quite late as well for me, which was like 9:30, and I always feel a bit unsettled when I wake up late, so I went for a run to kind of like energise myself. And I'm just about to do yoga, and I thought this would be a good time for me to end the vlog, because the rest of the weekend, to be honest, I'm just going to be chilling, I'm going to be watching TV, I'm going to be doing a bit of work, nothing all exciting. The main thing I wanted to kind of get across this video was what a residential placement is like, and sort of the advantages and disadvantages of it, and hopefully to kind of give you the impression that if you are a medical student and you've you know, got a residential placement, then it's not something that you should absolutely dread or you should feel really disheartened that you've got, because there are actually lots of really lovely things about being on a residential. Thank you very much for watching and following me around for the week, and remember to subscribe if you want to join this little YouTube family and you want to watch more med school content. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because it really helps me out. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you very soon for my next video. Bye!